Hello and welcome. Today I want to talk about strategic planning. You see, as accountants, the one thing we do really well is we talk about doing a budget for the next 12 months. We convert it into a cash flow, and sometimes we delve into and do a weekly cash flow, perhaps for 3 to 4 months, to help with understanding what your numbers are going to be for the next period of time. But it needs to be more than that. And you may remember when you started out in business, you just might, have prepared a business plan. Usually, though, business plans are only prepared if you're going to seek funding or investment, and you need to prove to someone else that your business is viable, that you've thought about it. A business plan encompasses what your business is about, why it's different. It has a marketing plan, it has a financial plan, it has a whole range of different things, a SWOT analysis. It looks at, what your pricing model looks like, what your plans are, what the bigger plan is. It's lots of things within a business plan. And the challenge is usually that if you have prepared a business plan, most people do it for the purpose of getting the finance or finding an investor or whatever. It's done for a reason. And then it's put in the bottom drawer or filed away in the computer system and never looked at again. And whilst you may know kind of in the top of your head that this is kind of the direction you were planning and this is what you were looking to do, the reality is that it's put away. It's not looked at. And that's the problem. Because then what happens is you ask your accountant perhaps might suggest that you do a budget for the next 12 months. Every financial year, it's good to do a new budget. Ideally, you should be reviewing it every month and updating it as you go, but nonetheless, putting a budget in place. What are your financial goals for the next 12 months? What profit do you want for the next 12 months? What are your plans? Are you going to move premises? Are you going to take on more staff? Are you going to, add new products or services to your line? What does that look like? And some of that may be the kind of what if scenarios of, well, what if we did this? What if we added this service? What if we bought out one of our competitors? What does that look like? And that's usually the 12 months. The problem with that is you become quite short-sighted. And recently I was challenged to enunciate and talk about my 5-year plan. And I sat back and I thought, I kind of know where I want to be in 5 years. I want to be doing this. I want this type of work. I want these types of clients. I want this sort of revenue. I want this much profit, etc. And then the challenge then was, okay, well, if that's 5 years, what's 4 years look like? What does 3 years? What does 2 years? What does 1? And for me, putting that together, it was easy to work out what 1 was the first year, because that's what I do all the time. I'm always looking kind of a year in advance. What's happening in this next 12 months? And I know a big picture where I want to be in 5 years, but then there's all the bits in the middle. And it becomes a little bit harder when you're used to very short-sightedly looking at, in some cases for some people, what's the next month look like? What's the next 2 months look like? And when you are so short-sighted on what you're looking at, it's impossible to put a bigger dream on it. It's impossible to do more and think strategically around your plan, because your planning is about survival from 1 month to the next, to the next, to the next. And maybe looking at, a year out. What does the year out look like? What is that? And so my challenge to you is to think about, what is your 5-year strategic plan. Where do you want the business to be in 5 years' time? And then look at chunking that back year by year by year to what do you need to be doing now in order to get to where you want to be in 5 years' time. Because if you've got that bigger goal down the track, it's easier to chunk it down into smaller bite-sized portions and say, okay, this year I need to do this. The next year I need to do that. The following year there's something else that I need to do. And whether that's training, personal development, whether it's, getting yourself out of your comfort zone in different areas that you need to work in, whether it's putting on new team members to support you in key areas so that you can focus on what you're good at, or whether it's to simply expand the capabilities of the team so that you can do the things that you want to be doing in 5 years because you need more capability in your team. What is it? Because all of those have an impact on your numbers. Numbers run through everything. Doesn't matter. But knowing where you want to go can help to then feed into what is your cash flow plan for the next 12 months? What's your budget look like for the next 12 months, 2 years, 3 years? And, when you're looking at a 5-year plan, you're looking more, big picture for the 5 years. 5 years, I want revenue to be X, I want profit to be Y, I think I'll have 4 team members and, 2 consultants, and I'll have 3 virtual assistants, and I don't know, whatever it looks like for you. But you can kind of have that big picture version of what that looks like. Whereas in the current 12 months, you can be really detailed and delve into, yes, I have these subscriptions. I've got my CRM, I've got my accounting system, I've got, these other things that I need to run the business. And I'm doing this marketing, I've got this specific promotion I'm planning to do that's going to cost me this much money. What does all that look like? I'm going to put on a new person to do X this year that's specific. You can be really specific in the first year and possibly a little bit more similar in the second year. But once you get to 3, 4, and 5 years, you need to be looking more, that helicopter view, looking down at the big numbers. What are the chunky things? What are the major things that will change? And it's in doing that you can start to make sure that you're going to achieve that goal you've got for yourself. Maybe not even stop at 5 years. What's the 10-year goal? 15-year goal? Because I bet you that those businesses that survive and thrive well into the years and go on and on and on, they've got their strategic plans. They know where they want the business to go. Now, that doesn't mean that if there's a change in business, there's an opportunity that they're ripe for, that they won't change direction, but they've still got this bigger thing that they're aiming for. And as long as the direction still gets them to their bigger goal, that's fine. And it may be that a complete change of direction, but overall you're still heading towards that revenue target, that profit target, that overall how many hours you're working, the overall what does the business look like, whether you're delivering this product or that service or a different product or a different service. May not matter how you get there. So you may need to look at changing as you go along. But have a think about when you're planning your next 12 months in terms of budgeting and some cash flow forecasts. Think about what your 5-year plan is and start chunking that back, and just make sure that what's in your next year's budget and cash flow forecast is working towards that 5-year goal.